Greetings, Minecrafters. Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 5, I think. 6? I'm losing count. Well, the next episode, whatever it is, it'll say up in the corner of the thumbnail. Up there somewhere. All right, yeah, I've cleared out my chickens, as you can see. I don't need them anymore. They serve their purpose. So yeah, this is where all the chicken wall was. I'm already starting to dig out behind, but I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do about that. The only drawers I now have here are the ones from Powah, the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth tier, plus uranite. And I've kept 2 chickens, the water and the lava eggs, because they can't be made with EMC, and they are useful. And then these are the fading energy collector Mark 15s that I had all my EMC being dumped into when I went to bed that first night after starting the EMC, just before the last little bit of the last episode was the next morning, and I had the almost 2 exabytes of power. I tore down all that setup here. It used to be right here, or still have this thing. I probably will find that useful. And I just have, like 7 of the power flowers out over here. I enchanted my Paxel with Silk Touch, because that's handy, so I don't have to constantly be having to deal with cobblestone if I break stone. I can just place it back. But yeah, I'm digging out back here, and it was starting to hit into this. So I'm going to get rid of this. I no longer need this. And to do that, I've made this pattern. I'm just going to show you this one. This is the copper spool, which requires copper wire, which you engineer wire. You can do it a number of different ways, but you can do it in the crafting table with the wire cutters on a sheet. And the sheet is the hammer. Again, you can do it in multiple different ways. I do want to say one thing about crafting in an inventory with something that takes damage as you do so. The hammer takes damage when you craft like this, as does the wire cutters. Whatever you do, do not put hammer or cutters or anything that could take damage as you use it in one of these refined links and hook it to your system. Because if you put that recipe of a ingot and a hammer in here and say, give me a stack, and you have a hammer in here, it's going to make one. And then when it goes to make the next one, it's going to look at the recipe and says, all right, it's an ingot and a brand new hammer. Oh, look, I've got 1,000,000 brand new hammers in my system. Let's use one of those instead of that damaged one that has 1 point of use on it. And it'll keep doing that and doing that. I once did this, not in this playthrough. It was in this pack, but not in this playthrough. I clicked 4 times real in rapid succession. Every one of these chests was full of hammers, and my inventory had stacks of thousands of hammers. They're not supposed to stack, and so it really got confused. Don't put those into the links. What I have in here is all of the materials that my chickens were making, 1 of each, and I put all 3 forms if they have multiple forms, or 2 if they've got 2 forms. And just stuck them all in here, as well as other things that you can do with EMC, like all the mechanism, alloys, and circuits. I've got all the Powah basic materials in here. This is the random one that I was just starting to put things in. Here I've got some laser I/O stuff. I got plenty of room to expand. So all that shows up in here as having millions of things. And again, anything that has an EMC value of more than 2 billion, don't bother putting it in these because it can't be pulled out. You might see it in here. Actually, I don't even think you'll see it in here. It just doesn't register as being removable because they have a limit of 2 billion per transaction. So yeah, so I took down all the chickens. All of their drawers are in this folder, or in this chest folder. So all the dies, all the ores. You can't see what's in the compacting drawers, but you can see what's in these. And all the chickens are over here. So I figured I'm just going to take a couple of cardboard boxes and box these up. If you're ever unsure in your inventory if a box has something in it, you can tell if it's got the little 1 down in the corner, then there's something in it. I guess it has the 1 when it's in the world. But if it's in your inventory and it doesn't have the 1, then it's empty. Handy to know. All right, so I'm going to go over here to the anvil. This one is the chickens. So now this one is just called chickens, and this one is chicken drawers. And I'll just toss them in the system. So now they're out of the way. I could take all the materials that were in those drawers and pipe them into EMC, but it would be a fraction of a piece, of a sliver, of a drop of my EMC. It wouldn't be worth the time. And if I ever need a large quantity of iron in a drawer form, I've got it. So yeah, what this is doing is it's making a motor. Let's go ahead and hit it. And I did this a few times, but the electric motor can drive the whole system, but it'll need some RF. So I'm just going to leave it right here as we work on our RF production. Oh, one sidetrack. I had the 3 tanks at the front of this for my latex, but I went ahead and made a whole bunch more. You can see they're all sort of filling up. They fill up in the top, and they're draining at the bottom and going to these 2 machines, which is making tiny dry rubber, which I will now prepare. And this one for doing any recipes that use latex. Over in the mob farm where I have the pink slime generating, or it can be generating, it's not on right now. It's coming over here via ender tank. And I've got one more here for the future. And they're all powered underneath from the same chickens. But like I said, we're going to change the power. I've hooked all of these up, and I've currently got their recipe cards sitting on top because this is not enough power. Even upgraded to nitro. I can run any one of these, but let's see, how fast does the nitro go? Well, it's going to be running through the buffers and all these, so it'll be a little faster right now than it will be once it drains the buffers. But yeah, it works, but we can make it faster. So let's take these out again, just to disable them easily. Let's toss that in my system. Oh, and let's toss that in there to cook. This is now powered by RF. Much faster. You make a factory add-on, slap it on there. All right, so let's change this to a reactor. So let's disconnect the power. Take these down and get rid of the chickens. All this coal. And just put those in the system. Keep the cables. All right, so I got a chest over here, but first we need to make something. We want to make the reactor. The Powah reactor has, of course, multiple tiers. So, but we've got plenty of materials now, so I'm going to make 36 of the starters, and then I'm going to upgrade them, and then I'm going to upgrade them, and upgrade them. Just make my way through all the tiers, because I've got all this material on file. All right, there we go. And I need to fill in the floor here. Just do it with these blocks. All right, place the middle one, and it should self-assemble if you have 36. Which is, you know, it's a nice little feature of the mod. Not really required, but pretty cool. All right, so the other things I've got... Oh, I need the stuff from the chest. Just grab everything in the chest. So we're going to do some laser I/O. We're going to do an energizing orb. We have an EMC link. The ender cell will come last. Yeah, that's it. It's not very complicated. Going to put down 2 of the cables and 2 energizing rods right here. 2 of the orbs, I'm just going to slap them on the back of the reactor like that. I should grab my Powah wrench and make sure that they are, connected. Come on. Why is that? That's not doing... This is the right wrench. Powah wrench, yeah. I can't see... Oh, okay, there we go. It's got modes. Rotate, config, or link. Okay, we want link. I hadn't done that before. All right, link you to there, and you to there. So they're set? Yes. Can't see them against the reactor, but you can see them from the side. All right, that's done. So what we're going to do, this takes a number of different materials. One thing it does need is a bucket of water. So I'm just going to slap it with that. Put it away. You don't need to feed it water. It just needs 1 bucket, and this will just stay in there. It's sort of a strange requirement of it, but it works. All right, I'm fine. Just don't forget to do it, or your power will be severely reduced. Up here we need coal, here we need redstone, and here we need some form of ice. And the best is dry ice. All right, so we're going to place a link there, and let's give it the materials we're going to need. We're going to need some coal. There. Going to need some redstone. And I've got some blue ice, which we can make with our EMC. And we're going to need some uranium. There we go. These are the 4 materials that get put in here. And I'm going to need those 2 in my inventory. And we're going to use some laser I/O to move things around because it's nice and compact for this, and it limits how much it puts into the orbs, just like we're doing down there. Okay, so we're going to set the 2 recipes. Let's do that first. We want a recipe card, and this one is going to be 1 uranium. And over here, I have a recipe card with 1 blue ice. So once they're hooked up to this thing, that'll be pulling out the uranium, putting 1 in here and 1 blue ice. No, it's 2 blue ice. So we can go 2. And I forgot to start my timer. All right, so when they're done, we need an exporter. And I don't really need to worry about speeding it up, but we will anyway. Again, 2 seconds is probably just fine. Extract. I don't really need to go up the transfer amount. It's only going to be ever doing 1 at a time, but might as well. Okay, so that's done. Things need to go into the machine here, so I'm going to go into the I'm going to click this side and pick the opposite. East, west. This is going to be an insert with another recipe card. Oh, I'm going to need these two as well. And actually, I should go ahead and make a dry ice. So I just need a little bit of uranite. These probably have a little bit of power in them. So if I put 1 uranium here. Ah, there we go. Oh, it got pulled out. Don't pull out. Give it to me. There we go. You can have that back. All right, so I've got 1 uranium, 1 uranite, and I'm going to toss it in, give it a little bit of power. That should. Let's give it some. I'll give it a bit of regular blue ice. It'll take any ice. Dry ice is better. Ah, there we go. Dry ice. Yeah, this just powered it up. Gave it a little bit of uranite, so a little bit of power. That was enough to power these two to make the dry ice. So now I can say, over here on the insert, I need to get these materials back. Yes. We want to keep a stack of dry ice, stack of coal, stack of redstone. Oh, and I need more uranite. Didn't mean to pick that one up. Back in here, and a stack of uranite. Okay. Now take the laser wrench, and we need to crouch right-click this one, right-click that one. They're now linked together. And the last and final step is to import from our link. So go in there and import. And I'm going to go ahead and speed. Well, that doesn't need to speed up. I guess it's the export over here that I could speed up. Take that up to, oh, no. Oh, that's priority. No, this should be extract. Yeah. This is the right place. Just need to do that. There we go. And that I really want to be a stack so that it moves whole stacks into here. And look at the dry ice is going up. And this is there. It's making uranium now. Or uranite from uranium. So it's using its own power to make its fuel. And it's still increasing by a large amount. You can see it's really going up there by, it's making 461. Yeah, when it stopped making it, it didn't even really change that much that I could see. So it's using only a sliver of its power to make its fuel from the EMC provided uranium. And definitely turn on auto mode. That way when it gets up over, what is it, 70%? Yeah, it will stop. And it won't start up again until it gets low. So it'll keep it moving in between the middle. So here it should shut off shortly. Maybe. It is on. All right, it went all the way up. Oh, it stops when it's full and starts when it's less than 70%. So it'll stay near the top. Okay, that's fine. All right, I think that's done. We have water, we have dry ice, we have redstone, we have coal. And it's self-powering, basically. All right, and now we can hook it up to the system, and we could put everything back in. And this one was making more uranite just for future use. These two, the nitro and the uranite, are needed later in the game. So I figured might as well get them going now while I'm setting this up. Because this needs so much more power, it's got some extra rods attached to it. And it's got its dedicated blaze block that just goes to it. It doesn't get exported into the ender chest. And the ender chest goes over here. There it is. And it gets piped into all of these. Now, I've had this exact setup running, as I do. I test before I show you. And I turned off the quantity displays on these. Let's turn that back on again. All right, so we've got our 1.1 million of the eggs. Let's go to the other end. So the uranium, I have 85,000, 144,000, 50, 35, 26. You can see that as these take more power, I have less of them. But because I put so many rods on the nitro, I've got 225,000 nitro. So I got lots of these materials. But how much will I need? Well, take the nitro here and look at the neutronium compressor. We need 240. Let me do the calculator here. So 1,628 times 240 is 390. We'll round it up because these things don't show all the digits. 391,000. So we're at 226, we need 391. We're doing pretty good. If I leave that running for another night, we should be well over that limit. Put these back. And for the uranite, look at that one with the compressor. So our 1628 times 45 is, rounding up to the nearest 1,000, 74,000. So we've actually got enough uranite for that. So since we don't need it for power, it's making its own. I can go ahead and just turn this one off permanently. And the others, I probably have enough of these, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn them back off again so that all the power is going to our nitro. Oh, and I also had another recipe in this card, which if we look at it, Eye of Ender, a dielectric casing, and a tiny capacitor. If I stick that one in there, it goes pretty fast, doesn't take a lot of power. Put that back, get that out of there. And they don't have a drawer, so they're going to be sitting in here. Ender cores. Ender cores are used to make gates and the ender cell. And this is the ender cell here, which I am going to put as a nitro version. Stick it right here. Now, I haven't messed with a lot of this. I really don't know. These seem to be different channels you can pick. I think. I haven't messed with those, but I made some gates. And can these... They don't seem to have any interface, even when you place them. Oh, you do. All right, so once they're placed, you can choose which channel they're on. So there's 12 channels they could be on. I'm just going to use the one. And if you have any of the batteries that the bees were dropping, not there. Here, like this blazing battery. Go in here, and I think you just shift-click. Yeah, shift-click that in there. That would have raised the limit. Now, I've put all of the nitro ones I have, except this one. Might as well toss this in. It's not going to do anything. It's just a drop in the bucket. But I put all the nitros ones I have, except that one that's in my inventory as a backup, and one that I have in my curio slot. Both are charged. You can actually charge them in this slot here. But you put them in here, and that increases how much it can hold. This can now hold 8 billion. So it acts as an extra buffer of power. And you can place these gates on anything you want to power. So if let's come down here and disconnect that. I place that on there. I can now run this enchantment extractor, which I made when I was trying to get a silk touch for this. And it's powered. Now they can also be attached to the power cables. So if I put it there, I can now get rid of this slightly unsightly underfloor setup. Let's get some more, oops, not cobblestone, stone. I could fill it, not just one either. I want a whole stack. Thank you. I could fill this in. And now this is wirelessly powering all of these machines. Lots of netherite dust. I accidentally put my thing in there. All right. So I think that catches us up. This is going to be running. Now, because I've got so many rods on it, it's actually draining this whole thing. So it's not too bad to make a second one. So let's get, let's see, framed blocks. I want to do this, I think. Yeah, let's make 4 of those. I think they'll look good in the corners. And now a dark block of some sort, not obsidian. Sure, block of coal. And then 1 temporary block here. Step back and build a second one. Now if I get my laser wrench, a counting filter, a node. Where is the node? There it is. Some power cable. And some of that, some of that. There. One of those. One of those. So let's connect it like so. And then on the other side, we're going to do, oh, I need my card holder. Going to do a insert with a counting filter and put a stack of coal, stack of that, dry ice, and this, and take these up to a whole stack. Did I put it in the right place? I didn't. Good. Actually, that's a good place to prep one of these, is in a side that's not actually facing anything. I also need a bucket of water. So put the water on it. And yeah, now I can just put this in the right side, and it should be filling up. It's making dry ice for it. Now it's making the uranium, or the uranite. We can just wire this to the other one, and now we've got the power going to both. And actually, now that I think about it, I should move this over here so that it's being powered by both. So even wirelessly, we have access to both systems. I can run a cable down, but yeah, that's fine. Now we should probably be making... Wow, no, we're actually using it all? I thought for sure that that would be enough. But no, this thing is really sucking down the power. It does take 20 million FE per operation. And these things are only making 500,000 each. But with this many rods, it's sucking it out faster than it's making it. Maybe I should take a few off. Let's see if I take that one off. Oh, it's also, I forgot, it's also charging this up. Yeah, so it may be fine. Let's actually find out. Let's take this back off. Now is it going up? Yes, okay. That one's struggling, but this one is going up. So the two of them together is more than this thing is using. Good. I thought it would have to be. All right, so we've got power set up. The materials are pretty good. I don't think we're in. Once this gets up to 391, we can stop it, and I probably should put a sign on it. We have some more signs. Do. Just so that I can remember, and let's make sure I remember the correct value again. So that's uses 240. So 1628 times 240. Yeah, 391. $391K. This is what I'm going to be doing a lot as we start getting into the finally getting into the actual meat of this pack, which is all the automation to make the end game stuff. When I know how much of something I'm going to need, I'll stick a sign so I can easily come by and see, all right, how we're doing. All right, we're getting close. Okay, next, I showed this guy over here. He is fluid empty. He needs something. So there are 3 tiers: latex, pink slime, and the next one is ether, and it's used. We have the pitting machine frames, which we can do in a crafting table. Then we can use those in the dissolution chamber with some materials and latex to make the simple machine frames. And then those get used with the pink slime and materials to make the advanced. So we can get to that right now, and we have. But I want to get one more step up. You don't need to. I just want to. And that is to do this again, but with ether gas and similar materials. The plastic is always going to be the most problematic of these materials because it doesn't have EMC. But we've got that taken care of. But ether gas, it's made from the laser drill with a purple laser lens, and it has to be over top of a wither. Well, you think, well, that's pretty destructive. The wither would just destroy it. Well, there's something we can do in this mod to fix that, and that is the stasis chamber, which will freeze the mob on top of it. And it does take an advanced machine frame, which we have, and which I have made. We already have a box for the wither over here. Let's start milking it. Get rid of some of this stuff in my inventory. And so we've got a stasis chamber. We've got the fluid laser base and the laser drills, 4 of them. We've got some of those ender gates. We have power. We have the purple lens. We've got a tank to hold the output and a fluid pipe to pipe it into an ender tank to get it out to the dissolution chamber. So let's see how we're going to do this. We're going to go underneath to right in the center. Now, there is still a glass right above me. I think I'm going to... It works through one layer just fine. So there's one more block of glass directly above it, and that will protect it from the wither. Not going to put the ender gate on it quite yet. I don't remember. I think we're fine up here. It wouldn't get us, but might as well wait. All right, so I'm going to break some paths here. And I'm not sure if I think this needs to be right on top of him. So I'm going to put it down one more level. So it's actually going to be in direct contact with the wither. So if the wither ever gets out of stasis, it's probably going to destroy it. Or at least break it. Now the laser drills is facing the wrong way, so there we go. One here, that's really facing the wrong way. There we go. And this one. Okay, they all have particles. They're all working. They all need power. These I'll put on the top. These I'll put on the outside edge. That way I can put the glass back on top of everything. So even if the wither decides to break stuff, it won't be able to get out. And now I'm going to put a pipe here to a holding tank in case we get lots. And yeah, I'm going to just put an extra block so if he somehow managed to get up, I don't think he can get through a one-hole gap, but if he breaks the laser base, he will have a straight shot up. I don't think he can get through that, but hey, just in case, toss some of those up there. Oh, and I need to activate the output on that pipe. Put down another pipe here, activate the output, and send it into one of the ender tanks, which I've set to brown, brown, brown. Because why not? And there's one more thing I need to do, and that is put the laser purple lens in there. So, all right, it's running. It's not super fast. I think it only makes 10 millibuckets each time. But as soon as we put power on this, these things are nice. I don't need to slap it on the bottom. If you just place it into this space, it will orient itself to whatever it thinks needs power, which sometimes can be a pain. Unless it outputs power on every side, I'm not sure. But if I put it down the ground here, it's actually stuck to the bottom of it now. See, there it is. Sort of handy. All right, fill in. Oh, and the glass. There we go. I think it's ready for a wither. Set that to the side. Oh, do I have any more skulls? I think I do. Yes, it's been running long enough that I've gotten a few skulls. I put fans on two sides. They have 3, 3, and 4 of the upgrades, which makes them push all the way to the other side in a large volume. 2 over here and 2 in the back. You can see the levers are turning off the illuminator blocks I put on that black back wall to try and better see what's in there. And they're getting pushed into this grinder from Mob Grinding Utilities. But my ring is pushing them away as well, so I should probably turn that off while I'm in the base. Just remember to turn it back on before I go out and about. There they go. I have a storage controller attached to all these. And for the experience, I made an experience obelisk. I'm just going to put all of mine in there. So I just got 3 levels from those guys. All right, so I can break this. Put that away, get some soul sand. 1S in soul sand. There we go. Okay, let's hope this works. And I don't have to run away because he's not going to do his explodey thing. Yeah, I don't see his bar, his health bar, because he is in stasis. If that stasis ever lost power, I should have powered it from chickens, and it would never lose power. So right now, if I somehow do something to I shouldn't. It's done. I've finished working on it. But, yeah, he might get out. Well, he can't get out, but he can destroy some of these blocks. I can make him again. Not a big deal. All right, he should be making... Yep, look, we got 30 millibuckets of ether gas. Now, when I took down my EMC generating facility, I had those 3 watches on these dark matter pedestals. You can't pick up the dark matter pedestal without certain specific tools, except with a cardboard box. So what I'm going to do is uncover one of the watches and turn it on. Let's see how that... Whoa, look, we're already 120. Oh, look at it go, look at it go. So much faster. 180, 100, 200. Yeah, that's going to work well for getting, getting a good bit of the ether gas. So now we can come out here, place the other one on top, and set it to export. Yeah, there we go. This one isn't set to export. Should be. So now we've got all that ether gas in here, but it's not going up. Is he still working? Does it look like there's pink slime in there, and it says empty? Oh, is one of those... They don't push straight down. They push in all directions, don't they? So are they interfering with each other? Once this one's empty, is it going to push pink slime into it? Doesn't say it has pink slime in it. But I'm not getting more ether gas. If it does think it has pink slime in it, then it would be building up over here, and it is. So... Oh, okay, they're both in push mode. They're pushing into each other. It's throwing the pink slime back and forth. So if I turn that off, this should fill up. Yep, okay. So they don't just push down. All right, let's take it and put it... Let's put it on the side so I can see the interface better. Let's put it over here. So it should still be pushing into here. Yes? No. Need to flip it again. There it goes. And then this one can be turned back on again. Now they won't push into each other. So what was happening, because I don't have a lot of ether gas, and this isn't full, it was pushing all the ether gas into here. Then it was empty. So this one, which is trying to push in every direction, because I said it blew down, pushed some pink slime into it. So now it's not empty anymore, and it can't accept any more ether gas from over there. But it has pink slime in it. It's trying to push it out. It can't push it in here, but it can push it in there, so it pushes it back. So these two were just sort of ping-ponging a tiny little bit of pink slime between them, which was keeping the ether gas from ever flowing into it. But now they're good. All right, problem solved. We have ether gas. So now we can put the recipe in for the first machine frame, second, and the third. Using, got more of this, using the plastic and all the other materials we need. So let me do that, and I will be back. Well, actually, I think that's about the limit for this episode. We'll have to split it here. And I did make those machines. I'll show you beginning of the next episode. There wasn't really anything special about making them, just I'll show you the end results anyway, not the actual craftings. That's boring. Anyway, yeah, I had to split it up, and sorry about the sound quality. It got a little bit distorted there in this episode, and unfortunately the beginning of the next episode as well. I've adjusted the settings, so hopefully it's better now. I think the knobs on the microphone got rotated slightly, and I was amplifying it too much right there in the microphone, which is never very good. Anyway, I think this was a good episode. We did a lot of power cleaning up. I mean, it doesn't seem like I got a lot done, but I guess I did. It was going on for 45 minutes. A lot of explanations, I guess. All right, well, more automations to come. We're starting to make the actual stuff for this guy. I think I'm going to do a little bit of bass redesign too, but not before the beginning of the next episode because I'd already filmed that one. All right, so this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good in all that you do, and see you next time.